in matters of principle, stand like a rock.
Amen.
We're here tonight to hear a man that has already been standing like a rock in Republic, Washington. He served in the U.S. Army and is a veteran. And if I may ask, if all the veterans would please stand and be recognized. Thank you for your service to our country. He was the first to step up against 1639, our Second Amendment right. And he and I both agree. You can't take away one of our constitutional rights with an initiative.
Amen.
In fact, you can't create a law in a representative republic with an initiative. It has to be brought up in the House, debated, voted on, and passed. It has to go through the Senate, same thing. And then it has to be taken to the executive. That's our president or our governor, and signed into law. That's how laws are created. And that's why 1639 is not a law, and it's unjustly put into place. Loren stands against sanctuary cities, sanctuary counties, and a sanctuary state. Thank God.
Amen.
Loren Culp realizes that we don't have a homeless problem. We have a drug addiction problem, which is leading into a mental illness problem.
Amen.
He has been standing like a rock against all of these things. Yeah, I've heard the critics, and I'm sure you have too. He's from the east side. Can't win. He's unelectable. No name ID. Let me read a quote from Theodore Roosevelt with an analogy on boxing. It is not the critic who counts, nor the man who points out how the strong man stumbled, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives violently, who errs and comes short again and again, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, and spends himself in a worthy cause. Loren Culp is running for governor, and he's spending himself in a worthy cause. And let me remind you of the 2016 election, where all these same things were floated out there and were thrown out there at us. And the American people elected President Donald Trump.
Amen.
A man born to stand out. And the aftermath to the present day, impeachment hearings, Adam Schiff and his parody of President Trump's conversation with the Ukrainian president. Where is the Republicans' courage, born to stand out attitude to demand Adam Schiff's resignation and removal from office? Well, I tell you, we have flirted and traveled down this road of selling America out too long not to have these players in our own Republican Party. I'm in belief, in our brief history as the United States of America, our Republican Party has been known as the party of Lincoln and Reagan. Today, it's being recognized as Lincoln, Reagan, and Trump. Before it is all said and done, it may be referred to as Trump, Lincoln, and Reagan.
Oh, yeah.
We've been given a great opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, a blessing with our Commander-in-Chief, President Trump.
Amen.
So let's quit trying to fit into this madness that is unfolding before our eyes today in Washington State and work like there's no tomorrow to help this patriot, Loren Culp, born to stand.
Jim, I'm going to give you the last word. This message is for you. A great man once said that evil is powerless if the good are unafraid. Well, you and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We'll preserve for our children this, the last best hope of man on earth, or we'll sentence them to take the last step into 1,000 years of darkness. We're at war with the most dangerous enemy that has ever faced mankind in its long climb from the swamp to the stars. And it's been said if we lose this war, and in so doing lose this great way of freedom of ours, history will report with the greatest astonishment that those that have the most to lose did the least to prevent it from happening. Well, I think it's high time now that we ask ourselves if we still even know the freedoms that were intended for us by our founding fathers. Every generation of Americans needs to know that freedom exists, not to do what you like, but having the right to do what you ought. You weren't made to fit in, my brothers and sisters. You were born to stand out. Set yourself apart from this corrupt generation. Be saints. God bless you.
Amen.
That man played Christ in the Passion of the Christ. He's from Washington State. So let's seize this moment and use this momentum of our President Trump to elect Loren Culp as our next Washington State governor. Please help me introduce and welcome Loren Culp.